What's up? What's going on? It's your boy Carcino here. See, they're having difficulties. I guess they're getting it together now. But some people always wonder here on One Crack News with people saying, I don't understand. I don't know how to do things anymore. It's just terrible. Notifications don't go out to the right people anymore. It's goofy. But we'll straighten it out. But people always ask other people what are they doing for their community. That's the craziest thing I could ever hear. Someone ask somebody else what they're doing. When it's like, well, what are you doing for the community? Well, that's good, Darren. As long as you like one of them. So people like to ask myself. Now, back 3-4 years ago, I told you we invest in a lot of different things. There's a venture capital fund that we got involved in here in Chicago. It was a very good man that's in charge of it and that was helping it run. Now, many of you have never really seen or understood for the life of you how these things work in the business field of, the South Side of Chicago. Right? Now, recently, through all of this work that was put in to the systems and everything else for small businesses, now they're going to have to get loans for these businesses. But over $530 some thousand was put in there, and we helped generate that. And I'm very proud of that, to be a part of it. The Chicago Community Loan Fund, which is the CCLF. That's what it's called. And that is mostly the Chicago South and West Sides, right? For retail storefront development in the community and invest in those small businesses. I was always about setting that up and getting these things done and helping address these situations. Now, with the support of all the people that was involved, sorry, somebody texted me, by doing all of these different factions and getting involved and talking with your investors and all the people who look into these nonprofit organizations for your funding and all of these things here, the CCLF was something that's relatable to me because I'm from Chicago, from the South Side of Chicago. That's right. Someone just sent me something going nuts over the NFL schedule. So, right. Well, for low income areas who have a lot of problem getting loans from banks, that's why we had the loan fund, because we realized where the problems lie in our community. Most of the people who have ideas in business and they don't have the capital, and banks won't give them loans. So what do? You come up with a community loan fund where the people help generate the money to help small businesses in these areas be able to be able to serve their own community. So therefore, somebody from their own neighborhood can get a business in their own neighborhood and help build their own neighborhood. No, not in our firm, not in the firm that we put out. It's not gonna happen. Well, Calvin Holmes, who's the president of the CCLF, I know Stephanie Holmes, Calvin Holmes, Edward Holmes, um, the whole Holmes organization. Now they got infusion of a capital by J.P. Morgan Chase for $10 million. Okay, that's for general to generate jobs for the local residents in the area. That's going to help with a lot of entrepreneurial tenants, people of color who dismantle the barriers in economic empowerment, meaning us. Okay, so no, the Chinese and the Asians that you thinking is going to just come in and get the money, they're not. We research what we preach, sir. See, JP Morgan Chase have partnered with them. So that's a $3.5 million philanthropic investment. And this was going down in like 2016. Like I said, 2016, your boy here was aggressive. Aggressive. So that capital helped provide a total of $532,000 in micro small business loans. That's right. So now they got a $40 million 3-year plan to pledge to help Chicago's economic developments. And we helped get that done in 2017. And JP Morgan Chase has launched the $5.5 million Chicago Entrepreneurs of Color Fund, that's what they call it, and provided seed funding for the Community Investment Corporation to launch the Chicago Opportunity Investment Fund. Yes. So that's how you build the community. You get the strength from within to help out within. So the Arabs and the Chinese can't get that. They don't qualify. The Arabs don't need that money. They get loans, they get money just from coming into the state. No, no, Jason Creed. It's not about just fixing up the neighborhood. It's not your responsibility. They're just going to tear it up again. It's not the way to look at it, Jason. We're talking about fixing the economic structure of the neighborhood. It's the economic structure that's destroyed. If there's no businesses, okay, think about where you live. Every about less than 3 mile radius, you got restaurants, grocery chains. What is that? That's jobs, that's revenue, that's income coming in and out of your community. Now, if you go to where these low income families are, you have liquor store that's close by, little food shop, beauty salon, maybe, Chinese restaurant, and one grocery store that's probably some big chain down the street, a Jules Osco. And that's it. But out of all of that there, how many of those are owned by people that live in that neighborhood? None of them. This gives economic structuring to the people who actually live in the areas. So that's what the fund is for. But now, since the COVID situation has happened, it's going to take away or hinder or hurt all of those small income businesses that was getting money and could get up to $532,000 to own things in their own neighborhood. You have a high gang output when you have lack of recreational ideas for these children. They have no parks that's really for their development. They have no computer lab systems for them to go to. They have no arcades. They have no real malls to go to anymore for social gathering. They don't really have these things. Any neighborhood that's flourishing, they have these things because they're important. Half of these people meet for the first time once they join a gang. And then they'll hate somebody else they don't know because that person just happens to be in an opposite gang. So there's no real social gathering except for hanging out on the block. So you only know people from your block. But when you have like internet learning cafes for kids, for recreation, you have all these different activities for recreational centers. They closed the majority of those. The state said, we have no money to fund it. And every charity who's tried to get together to try to get money to fund it, they find a way to shut it down, the state. Why is that? Because they don't want it. So the people got to want it for themselves. Now I'm going to get out of here and we're going to talk business later. But I want to give you guys some good facts and some good things to look into to help building up communities and getting loans. This is the time now to start trying to really readjust yourself, because now most people are leaning on the state, and this is not the idea for these people leaning on the state. This is not ideal for you because you're getting ready to enter a new financial era. Okay? Very new financial era. They're trying to introduce new currency, new ways of making money, new ways of paying things. So you're going to be a person sitting around waiting for the government to give you a check. In this climate, they're trying to wipe their books clean. Don't be the ones that get wiped out.